Welcome to the Lost Lowdown, podcast number 87, with your hosts, Claude and Justin.
What's up, guys?
Continuing our commentary series, we're back with episode 105, White Rabbit. So we've been getting some feedback from some listeners on the commentary series, which is cool. A couple people have said that this has been a great excuse for them to rewatch Lost. And we have the same excuse, I think.
True. We agree completely.
Not only that, but, you and I, haven't seen the show together. Like,
that's true.
We don't live in the same city, so there's, I think, one or two episodes we've seen at the same time or something.
Yeah, it's rare. It's rare. We always watched it separately and thought about it separately and then just said
Which
everything.
is really where the podcast came from, the sort of need to sort of do the podcast.
Exactly.
Besides the intense worldwide demand. Crickets.
Good point.
World leaders were demanding it. They were saying, this is the cure to everything. And then I woke up. So, anything else before we start?
Let's see. I'm going to say, well, I can't think of anything. Wait, can I?
Well, I hope you can think of something, just in general.
I guess that's to say about the episode.
Not thinking of anything is thinking of something. So
Yeah.
The question for Descartes.
Right. I think I'll save most of my thoughts for when we're actually watching the episode.
Okay.
Trying to think. Yeah. No, I don't have anything else.
All right. Well, without further ado, get your media players ready to sync. I'll do the 3, 2, 1, go. We can all press play on go and hopefully be in sync. All right.
Oh, and I'll just point out, this episode does not have a previously on, so
It does not.
In case there's an issue with that, you don't have to worry about that.
All righty. Here we go.
Okay.
3, 2, 1, go. Starting with Jack's eye.
Lil Jack.
Lil Jack.
I think, I have a bad record of remembering things from Lost on this podcast lately, but I think this is the only time we actually see Jack at this age. I'm going to say it.
Seems right. Just stay down, Jack.
It's a weird situation, because it seems like they've already kicked his ass. He's got, blood on his forehead, and he's down. They're like, if you get up, then we're going to kick your ass.
Well, it's like, if you get up, we're going to beat you some more.
Yeah, I guess that's the idea.
So I remember this whole thing of who the hell is drowning all of a sudden.
This comes out of nowhere.
Totally comes out of nowhere.
I thought there was something going on, something mysterious about this.
It did seem very mysterious.
But I think, and I didn't even believe that this woman existed for a while.
Right?
It
just seemed like, where did she come from all of a sudden?
Yeah. She's never mentioned in previous episodes. So it's just And the other thing is, Charlie talks about how he doesn't swim, which, is a little bit different from what they show later.
Totally.
He swims a lot.
Yeah, exactly. He learned to swim.
Yeah, he did. And people say, he says, I don't swim, not I can't. But I think in context, he's really saying I can't go help,
Yeah.
And he just says it that way. But Jack saved Boone, because Boone tried to help but failed.
a great little surprise.
Yeah. Oh, and there she is. Yeah, see?
Yeah.
What are you doing out there? What happened?
Like, she's even further.
I know. It's ridiculous.
But, yeah. It's like, well, what are you going to do? And see, Boone can't, make it back himself. So.
Yeah.
Let's see, do I save the person that's going to be on the show for a while, or do I save her?
The never-before-mentioned red shirt.
Yeah, exactly. Who knows? She may have had the secrets to everything on the island, right?
Pretty much. Oh, Jack, it's not going to work.
You can see, like, he's just... Good luck, buddy. Nobody's even going to help.
No.
Everyone's like, you got it.
Yeah.
All right. That's a great little, high action intro.
It is. Jack's a hero. Jack wants to help people, even at his own peril.
So I'll mention this is day 7 on the island, so it's been a week.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that reminds me of that whole, that whole controversy when Jack's talking to the Man in Black later about when he saw his dad and if that was him, and he says it was the third day, and timelines. Why bother? Oh, I guess that's the explanation.
Mhm.
Neither did we.
I think you were a little busy, killing the marshal, putting him out of his misery,
Totally. There's been a lot going on.
Yeah.
And there's like 50 people here. Like, you can't get to know them all personally.
Yeah.
And you won't, I assure you. Uh-oh.
Your suit's getting wet.
Now, I don't really know how he pulled that off. There's, like, nowhere for him to go.
Well, see, that just makes it look like he can disappear.
It does.
I think that's something akin to the Jacob in the cabin,
Oh, yeah.
Like this idea that he's visible if he wants to be or something.
Yeah.
Which Jacob does have, I guess, in the long run, so.
Yes.
So that maybe, Man in Black has that, I guess.
It's creepy, though. Guy in a suit standing in the ocean.
Yeah, it's like the standing at the trees was pretty creepy, but in the ocean is just slightly creepier because it's even that more unusual.
Yeah, yeah. It's out of place.
Mhm. It's like that dude doesn't care about his suit getting wet. He's serious.
Exactly.
Like nobody likes soggy shoes.
Uh-oh. I'm watching you.
What's that look?
I have no idea what that look is.
Does she want to kill them? Like, does she want to be with them? I can't tell.
This isn't our episode yet.
We'll talk about this later when it's our episode.
Mm-hmm.
Wrong. And anyone who comes will try to kill you.
So true. You're never going to leave the island, Jim. Sorry.
If they only knew that they're going to drown in that very water.
Yep.
That's all right. They'll have some good times before then.
So many good times.
Punctuation. Those legs of yours. Sawyer Stores open for business. How much? Your earrings.
Those earrings are ridiculous.
Mm-hmm. I like how you used punctuation again. He's a literary master, Miss Sawyer. That was
so
a subtle point about punctuation that he started the conversation with.
I feel like he learned that from those many hours of reading.
Yeah, exactly. It's a good message for kids. For those people who are just tuning in, Claire's pregnant.
Good point. Do you like
but
this
not
hat?
With a gun. Do you like this hat?
Wow.
It's like Jack's karma just hit Hurley's, his aura just hit Hurley's aura.
It was like radiating around him.
It like hit him in the face.
He was fine, and then,
It's like, whoa, what's going on there?
You got a problem. You don't really care about the rest of those people.
He thinks he does.
He does. Oh, that's right. Jack doesn't want to be the leader.
Mm-hmm. Let's be the leader when it's easy.
Yeah.
A little bit L cut with the ice in the glass.
Yeah. Yeah, it's good.
Somebody's an alcoholic.
Is that what they're trying to say?
Maybe. It's kind of like that's the sound Jack remembers is his dad's ice, clinking.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I'm humble. So that's a really interesting point he's trying to make.
Yeah.
Not that Jack doesn't have what it takes to be a hero. Well, I guess in a certain sense he doesn't.
Right.
He's saying you need to be able to deal with not saving everybody.
Failure, yeah, it's more
specific.
specific.
Deal with failure.
I forgot that that's what that was about.
Yeah, it's not that he he's not good enough in the large sense. It's just that specifically when he loses, when he can't save everybody or whatever.
Yeah.
You weren't fine. You're under the surface of the water. Unless you're scuba diving, that's never fine.
He's really not listening to you.
What's with the dark suit and the white shoes?
He's wearing the white shoes because that's what Christian was wearing. Because Jack didn't buy him the nice shoes because he wanted to hurry up and get him on the plane.
That's right. This isn't scary.
Yeah. This scared me a lot when I originally watched this.
Mhm.
Like, it's just creepy to have him standing
the
like
back
that.
turn.
Yeah. And see, he's just acting. Like, he doesn't have to behave this way.
What do you mean? Who's just acting?
Man in Black. Like, he could just say, hey, Jack. He could just walk out there. He could say hello to everybody. You know, like, he doesn't have to do this whole, like,
he's being enigmatic on purpose.
Yeah, he's playing it up to get Jack freaked out.
Totally different than, like, how he approached Richard, of, like, appearing as his own self and saying, hey, this is blah, blah, blah.
Yeah, I'm the Black Smoke, no big deal. Mm-hmm. Yeah, another thing is that, like, Jacob uses that whole you have what it takes thing, later on. So that means he knows somehow about that conversation.
And the you have what it takes seemed like it morphed into just in general if he had what it takes.
It did.
Does he have what it takes when it comes to failure?
As usual with the show, it's sort of what happened before. It's the specifics aren't quite what matters.
Yeah.
It's the sort of general idea. Oh, God, and Jack's evil mother.
Mm-hmm.
Forgot about this. This is where I get a lot of that from. She's talking about what you did.
You will.
Uh-oh.
Why did he go tell Kate?
Yeah, that is weird. They wanted somebody to go tell somebody. I don't even remember this.
Because nothing's going to happen.
I guess not. Oh, that's why they do this.
Mhm. Somebody needs something. Guess who has it? That's such an era of the show, you know.
It is. Although I think in this case, it turns out that I think Boone stole it.
Oh, is that right?
That's what I remember.
Spoiler alert.
I know. Sorry.
So do you notice how many people are in white shirts?
Yeah. Yeah. It's like white was their purple back then.
Mhm.
In general, like the show is, I don't know what it's like brighter or something.
Mm.
In these
Yeah,
days.
Yeah, plus sun. The light scatters differently in season 1.
That must be it.
So what does he want with Jack at this point?
I don't even know.
Okay,
I don't even know.
Place it, but
I mean, yeah, and I still feel very disappointed that we never got a scene with Christian and Jack again.
Mhm.
You know, because he shows up so much later, but he never talks to Jack again.
Yeah.
In that form.
Why? I mean, just because he's Secret Service doesn't mean he's not drunk.
I know. It's not really a point.
But so now I'm confused because I thought Jack ratted him out.
Yeah, he did, and he should be, like, fired at this point.
So he's saying he was chief of surgery?
I think so, yeah.
It was a weird point.
He should be, something like that. Oh, Christian, not again. Yeah, this is the scene with all the weird sound effects.
Mhm.
It's not really the smoky sound, but it's something. Oh.
Boom. See, it's not like he's changing into smoke and flying around really fast. Like, he's just manifesting wherever he wants.
Yeah.
Yikes.
Yeah, so one theory is that this is what he was trying to do. Yeah.
What'd you say?
One theory is that this is what he was trying to do. Basically, get Jack to fall off this cliff.
I see. Okay.
A way to kill him indirectly. But
yeah, that really should be all he wants is to kill Jack. I mean, he shouldn't want, I mean, obviously, not that he could have written this, so, but they don't want him to, like, talk to Jack.
Yeah.
About any sort of plan or anything.
Right.
So that's really all he should want is to get him killed.
Yeah. Yeah.
Unless there's something else. Yeah. Like to save the day.
Log knew where to look for whatever reason.
Jacob led him there.
Maybe.
That's crazy for yes. Or maybe no.
Yeah. Yes and no. Never. Yeah, pretty much.
Mhm.
That's what it was for me. I was like, oh man, we're going to have to deal with a baby.
I think they're Korean.
Excuse me.
She totally does.
She really does.
You guys are gonna be friends.
Saeed's in interrogation mode.
Yeah, he totally is.
Giving it the death stare.
Yeah, that's a great way to play it. It's nice Saeed picked up on that.
Yeah. Cigarettes.
He tackles him? Yikes. What? Come on, Kate. All right.
Yeah, she's really not the sheriff.
Your father talking.
Mm-hmm. He's there.
Yeah, you guys are in a lot of trouble.
No. Was a smoke monster.
Because that's what it wanted me to see.
Oh, Locke. That's all you're ever going to say about that encounter.
Get while it's hot, everybody. Limited edition explanation.
That's it.
So we have Locke telling Jack to be the leader,
Yeah.
which later he's going to be envious of.
Very true.
For you non-doctors.
Thank you. Yeah, no, I remember there were a number of theories that somehow Christian was still alive, or he faked his death, or something like crazy like that. He was with Dharma. He was involved somehow. But I think this scene was the key evidence that he was dead.
His dead body.
His dead body, yeah. This is the only time we really see his dead body, I think. Because it's never really found. Again.
Maybe it never got in a coffin.
Oh, maybe not. I think it probably did, though.
Yeah, why not?
Grab a torch.
Don't mind if I do.
That was a fast torch.
Yeah, it was kind of ready.
Uh-oh. Not this place.
Okay, so this is supposed to be Man in Black leading Jack to the cave.
That's what he says.
That's what he says.
Yeah. He says he was leading him here to help him find water. Forgot about the dolls.
Mhm.
I don't even remember what the explanation for the dolls is.
There's a whole thing with those in like Rousseau's booby traps.
Rousseau, yeah, she was using them. But like, why are these hair?
Somebody brought him in there at some point.
Oh wait, there it is, right? It's a crate of dolls.
Yeah. Well, this is where he finds the coffin.
Okay, yeah.
So this is wreckage.
So Rousseau takes dolls from this, like, stuff and puts them in her
Was it
traps?
dolls that she was making traps with? I thought it was.
Yeah, no, I'm pretty sure I remember her using dolls.
Well, yeah, she probably, maybe she found some of this wreckage.
Okay.
Well, and I don't know if they're still here by the time Rousseau's around, but she probably knows about the caves at some point.
Yeah. What do you mean around? Like, she's coming soon. She's going to be in, like, a few episodes.
But then don't they go back to the beach? I don't remember when they go back to the beach.
Oh, yeah, being in that area?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a lot later. I think she doesn't even show up on the beach until the finale.
Yeah,
when she talks about running and hiding. Oh, Jack, you're embarrassing yourself.
He's there too? Yeah,
it must be fate.
I used to love these airport scenes, every time they would show the setup of the flight, see who was where, doing what.
Yeah, I think later on we do see this from Jen's point of view.
Mhm.
Like, Sun's about to leave him. I think there's other stuff going on during this period of time as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has that whole, like, Pulp Fiction kind of thing where you see, like, how the various people got there. This is a good scene for Jack. He's he's really acting it up here.
Yeah.
I guess this whole episode is. Yeah, it is interesting that Jack and Locke don't really have a conflict at this point.
Mhm.
Locke's like, I want you to be the leader. And
well, I guess that's what it is Jack isn't really trying to assert his way. So, there's no real conflict between how Locke wants to do things.
Yeah.
And how, because that's what it becomes later. It's like.
That's true.
So it's all Locke's fault.
It is. It is.
Surprise, surprise.
Nobody's surprised.
Jack's surprised right now.
Uh-oh. Uh-oh. It really was him.
Yeah, it really was. He got up and walked out.
Break that coffin.
Break it, Jack.
There's nobody in there, so you
break
break
it. Like your dad used to be in here. Break it like you have what it takes. Is that a baseball bat he just happened to find?
Yeah, I think so.
Convenient.
A little bit. Thank God for baseball bat smugglers.
Exactly. Where's Kate when you need her? a great edit, right? Great cut right there. Uh-oh. The leader has returned from the mountaintop with the rules from the Messiah.
So true.
Yeah, it's totally like that.
Teach us, dear leader. Teach us.
Teach us. We are worshiping false idols of division and conflict. We must worship the one true God of togetherness and hope. And living together, thus dying alone. Oh, he's bringing up the religious stuff, too.
Later on, we see Nikki and Paulo in this scene.
Oh, jeez. I like it. Someone was going to say, I don't want to go.
Yeah.
He heard it before they said it. He's like,
Kid.
and if you don't want to go, shut the fuck up. Forever.
Uh-oh. Nobody's going to remember that line.
Mm-mm.
Well, most of them are just going to die in arrow attacks, so, you know.
Yeah. Sun and Jin will die together.
Yeah. That was another look.
Husbands get their wives water. What they do.
Oh. So true.
Even the dog gets water.
Yep.
Ouch. Burned by Sawyer.
Mm-hmm. This is a life and death theme. It's weird. They usually play this when people die.
Mm-hmm.
Chasing the smoke around.
I earned that water.
He did, though. You don't give a great speech like that every day.
Mm-mm.
He didn't even rehearse that.
No, it took him all day to go on the emotional journey to come up with that.
Yeah, it was like a vision quest.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
See, but it's still like Jack hasn't decided that he has what it takes.
No.
He's just, I don't know what are we supposed to get from his catharsis of destroying the coffin and then coming back saying, okay, now we got to work together. Like, they made it seem like he was over his dad's death.
Yeah, you're right.
Like he that was his burial, you know.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to bury him immediately, and he got to, you know. But it's unanswered because, you know, his father wasn't in the coffin, so it's like, okay, did he get up and walk out? Like, that means it kind of means Jack most likely isn't hallucinating, you know.
Yeah.
Like, or at least it's not confirming that his dad is dead.
Yeah, that's true.
Or, that the body is there, So it's weird. I don't know exactly what we're supposed to think, but
I think he makes little bits of progress in terms of, like, he decides he's not necessarily going to worry about going crazy. And
so he's just going to step up and be the leader.
Yeah, and he manages to find water, so he's able to solve that problem. And, like you said, he's going to step up even if he doesn't necessarily believe he has what it takes.
Mm-hmm. So that's weird because it makes it seem like, he's done with that. Like,
it does.
He's got what it takes now. He knows it.
Yeah.
But,
yeah.
It's a longer journey.
TV shows are like that sometimes. You get an episode, you want to close it out, you want to have some finality, but Jack's going to be dealing with that problem for, like, years.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, he's still affected by it, even in the afterlife, he's still, like, dealing with that problem. So, even his whole experience on the island and saving the island and all that,
So if we connect, this back to the beginning of the episode with the bully telling Jack to stay down,
mm-hmm.
So that's like, okay, so that's supposed to be like, okay, Jack is deciding he's not going to stay down.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes sense.
Pretty much. It might not be in his best interest, but that's just what he does.
Mm-hmm.
He's going to try anyway.
That scene when Christian is talking to young Jack after he gets beat up is weird because it's like, what is he chastising him about, really? That he got beat up or that he's handling it badly? It seems like he's saying, you're complaining that you got beat up, therefore, you don't have what it takes.
Yeah. I guess
like
so, yeah. I mean, it almost seemed like what happened and the fact that he got beat up is just, it's kind of a springboard for him to talk about what he thinks Jack's
his larger problem
is, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Like, because I feel like when he's saying that, he's not just talking about this, like, just in general, he can't handle his failures. But it is weird. It's also weird that, that is the first time we actually meet him.
Mm-hmm.
And it's in that context, like, talking to, little Jack.
Yeah.
He still doesn't get a scene with him until later.
Mm-hmm.
As the adult version.
Yeah, they haven't had any lines yet on the island.
Yeah, exactly. He's not, and I mean that's not even his dad, and so he hasn't even, adult Jack hasn't even had any interaction with him yet. It's weird. Like all that stuff starts to, towards the end of the series, it starts to feel like it was there, in the pilot, but it actually takes them a while to get all that out there.
Yeah.
They tell us about the fact that Locke couldn't walk before they show us Christian.
Mm-hmm.
But I have to say, like,
because,
what?
It's important too because Locke has to go through his own realization of his miracle to even give that speech to Jack about,
right.
believing in seeing his dad and all that, and
yes. Yeah, I still think it's weird how Locke just starts to believe that everything's happening for a reason.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they showed him in the flashback, like, talking about, it was his destiny to go on the walkabout, and so there's a sense that he already has that sort of viewpoint.
Yeah, he's expecting this trip to change his life, and he's realizing, well, me getting in this plane crash on this island where I can be, an eternal walkabout and literally walkabout, leg-wise. It makes sense that he's totally bought into that idea.
Yeah.
Which is why he gets to be manipulated, because he's bought into that idea more than anybody else.
Very true, very true.
Yeah.
And, we didn't talk about it, I think, last time, but I still feel like the series never quite explained why he could walk again.
Mhm.
You know?
I mean,
there's the general idea of the island's healing properties, but it, you know, they didn't really do enough, at least for me, to like indicate how, you know, that it really worked like that. You know, and that it wasn't specifically Locke that was, you know, somehow got more or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I mean, Jacob gets attributed credit for, you know, healing. So I think the idea is he just got healed. I mean, it, somehow, you know, very miraculously that it worked sort of instantly or whatever. But you know, with those spinal injuries or whatever, it's, you know, it always makes me think, you know, he kind of landed on his back in just the right way where it fixed the problem or something. You know, like that was part of the miracle, you know.
Yeah. But you're right. They did specifically mention Jacob being able to do that several times.
Now, he doesn't necessarily take credit for doing, I don't think he ever takes credit for healing people, right?
No. Good point. No, I guess not. I guess now that I think about it.
You know, outside of alluding to that the fountain can heal people, you know, that's about it. But
that's true. And I mean, there's stories. There's like Dogen's story about, you know, saving his kid's life.
There's anecdotal, like, evidence.
It is. You don't exactly directly see it happening. So it's so pivotal for Locke, I think, that it's just strange to not really get a little more specific about what happens. You know, I feel the same.
Well, you know, I was gonna say, they really couldn't have brought it up in season 6, you know, or later because Locke was dead.
He's dead.
Around.
Yeah, that's true.
So he didn't have an opportunity to be like, oh, by the way, did you heal me, or you know, or to try to thank him for healing him, and Jacob goes, oh no, it wasn't me, it was the light, or whatever.
You're right.
You know?
You're right. Like Jack got the chance to find out about this Christian thing. You know, because he was still around, and you know, Man in Black was still around. So, I guess that is a problem. Just the way they did the plot made them unable to resolve that. But I feel the same way about his encounter with the smoke monster in the previous episode. It's another like pivotal thing that, you know, just feels very like underexplained. And you know, when I was originally watching these and getting into the series, it was that, you know, that stuff really interested me, and I really thought that, you know, there's going to be answers to that at some point. So it's weird to know that, you know, there really aren't any.
No.
I still find it, I mean, I guess, like, I do think that the official answer, and I think this is even in the Lost Encyclopedia, is that, you know, he was just trying to kill Jack, you know, leading him off the cliff. And later on, he just lies to him and says he was trying to help him find water because he happened to do that afterwards.
Yeah.
You know, and maybe
Jack he's gonna just change his mind and say, "Hey, I'll try to kill him later." You know?
Yeah, because it failed.
I'll leave him to water for now, or whatever.
Yeah.
But it definitely seemed like he was trying to lead him off that cliff, and it makes sense with his motive of just trying to kill the candidates.
It does, but I still feel like they, you know, like taking into account the Mobisode with the, you know, with Vincent, if you know, he has work to do. Like it starts to feel like he's actually, you know, he's trying to get Jack to do things, like he's manipulating him more so than trying to kill him. You know? Yeah. But, like, it doesn't really click for me because he just leaves him alone for the next, like, 3 years. You know? As important as he is, like, it's just weird that he really never fucks with Jack again. Yeah, it seems like he has maybe some reason to
change his plan or something.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, he definitely fixates on Locke, and maybe he just thinks Locke will be easier to manipulate.
Yeah, I think in the long run, yeah, he's betting on Locke.
Yeah. Yeah, and that's probably true. I mean, Locke's obviously more ready to believe things and do what he's told and sort of follow the island, whatever he thinks that is. Because, yeah, I mean, he's saying the eye of the island, but it really, I mean, that's not what he was looking at. You know? So.
Well, what's interesting is he, in a way, he is. I mean, whatever Jacob and Smokey are, they're connected to the heart of the island.
Yeah, that's
so, like,
true.
in a way, I could see him, you know, thinking that just in terms of, you know, whatever he saw is something magical, for lack of a better word.
Yeah.
But specifically, he's not looking at, you know, sort of what you would objectively say is the heart of the island or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's this entity, this man who got Smokey all over him.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. It's just, yeah, so I guess he's not a million miles away, but, you know, that was another thing that, you know, he makes a comment like that, and, you know, I mean, I think, well, when people write lines like that, I just assume that that's true. He really did look into the eye of the island, whatever that is. You know, we'll find out later. You know, but
it's totally Locke's own subjective interpretation.
It is, yeah. And I guess that's the thing about the series that I really didn't understand at this stage, or really for years to come. Like I really thought that it was that they weren't going to go so heavy on the idea of, you know, people just of subjectivity and people not really knowing anything about what's going on, or only knowing a very limited amount,
and not being able to depend on their guesses to really be the right answer.
Yeah,
because I mean that's the other part is that he, you know, even if it is subjective, it still can be right, but it's like a lot of times it's just subjective and it's not right at all. Like it's just them guessing, and they have no real way to even to really get the right answer, depending on what you're talking about, you know. Yeah, no, that's the key point to make, because most stories have, like, subjective things put in there. I mean, most things that characters say are subjective, like, in you know, just in general in stories, but I think, that was the difference with Lost. They're wrong so much. Yeah. You really can't depend on what people say, and normally people use those subjective things as a way to, you know, do exposition. You know, you could ask, why do they know that? And that's, you know, that's different, but the point is we got that information out there. Yeah. You know, but with Lost, they really did go all the way with, like, it was a guess, so they were wrong. You know, big deal. I mean, it makes sense, but it is kind of weird. Like, that's just a weird thing to do. Yeah, it's a weird sort of thematic thing to have, or stylistic sort of thing to do, like, because it's really sort of the heart of the show in a way. Yes. You know, in terms of how the story and the characters come off, and that's definitely different than other shows. Yeah, like, I guess I'm just used to, like, you know, stories where there's supernatural stuff involved, but, like, the main characters eventually, like, develop this intuition for what's going on, and they usually are able to guess right, you know. But I guess it seems like no one, you know, no character ever really understood the island. And there's just so much going on the island. There's so much to try to even understand. I mean, even if you were Horus at the top of Dharma on the island, you still don't know half of what's going on the island, or what went on the island. You know a very small fraction, and so it's weird to have a whole story, a whole show about characters on and off an island who don't know what's going on and never do, you know, never really figure it out. Yeah. Very few people get close to really even knowing, you know, sort of the central question to be asking, you know. You know, what is the island is the big question, but it's way, you know, that's not really the question you should be asking. Yes. You know, who are the candidates is a better question, but you got to know what the candidates are.
Right.
There's so many better questions, but if you don't, so it's just, that's what's really interesting about the show is, and you don't get that until you're close to the end and you kind of look back and you realize that no one's going to have the right answer. Mother didn't have the right answer. She could only say what she can say. Yeah. And she's the first person, she's the earliest version of that.
See, that's I only take her at face value, tentatively, because she had the final word,
Mm-hmm.
There was nothing came along to say she was wrong, but objectively you can't really say that she's right, or there's no way to really say that she knew what she was talking about.
Yeah, exactly. Because everyone after her didn't know what they were talking about.
And there's ample evidence. I don't think she's trying to deceive the boys when she tells them that stuff. But she is in general a manipulative and deceptive person.
Mm-hmm.
So.
Well, she's a mother. Oops.
Oh shit.
Sorry, Mom.
Wow. Good thing there's not a lot of mothers out there.
Yeah, exactly right. Not the mothers out there.
So I just,
kid moms, come on. I'm a mom. All my friends are moms.
Wow. But because she lies so much and because she's deceptive, it makes it even harder to just accept her explanations at face value.
Yeah.
And that's just frustrating. It was the same problem with Ben or the Man in Black, even Jacob at times. He wasn't the most straightforward person either.
Yeah, it's interesting to have, just as an idea, characters trying to make sense of a mystery that they can't ever make sense of.
Yeah.
It's just an unsolvable mystery, and it's just something you'll never be able to sort of really find out the answer to. And most mysteries are not like that.
Yeah.
Most mysteries are like, you're gonna be able to figure out what it is, and this is specifically about stumbling upon a mystery that is not able to be solved.
Yes. And I feel like that's part of why Across the Sea is kind of deeply unsatisfying, because it's the ultimate answer episode that we're going to get, and turns out, the people who seemed like they were the ultimate answers were just
the ultimate answers.
They were just like our characters, people that washed up on the island and got caught up in its strangeness. And maybe they know a little more, but even they, I think, don't fully understand what the island is.
Exactly.
They're able to harness it in certain ways, but that's just because of their circumstances. And, our characters end up, Jack and Hurley end up, taking over Jacob's job, and they can probably, at that point, do whatever he could do, So it's not something that you have to have some weird quality to take over. You just, need to be.
You didn't have to be born on the island.
Yeah.
Anything like that.
Exactly. Yeah. There's nothing sort of. You can just show up there and get passed along the responsibility, and that's just weird, because then there's
can you, or is there a responsibility? Is there a protector of the island? It depends on
you can easily ask that. It's a perfectly valid question.
It just seems like if you think you're the leader, then you're the leader. You have the power or something. Whatever.
Yeah. And, the origin of it is just totally not addressed. It's like this idea must have predated Mother. I doubt she was born, knowing she was the protector of the island,
Well, I think there's something instinctual about this, about anyone who realizes the island is special. I think there's just a human quality to think you need to protect that, whether it's for the island's own sake or your own sake, a selfish reason or not.
Yeah.
I think anything that's special, I think anyone who gets in Mother's position will doesn't have to be told the island needs to be protected. It seems like that's sort of a natural thing people would want to.
They just understand it. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because like Locke believed the island needed to be protected, and no one ever made him the protector.
Exactly.
You know, so it's because he was devoted to it. He thought it was a special place, and therefore needed protecting. So yeah, you're right. I mean, it's just something that people get led to.
Mm-hmm.
But still, I mean, there's a whole, you drink water. There's this whole thing. It seems like it goes back, and it's just weird. It's weird to have this like sort of, vague like, dark prehistory that is never explained. How did the island get there? Is it just a natural phenomenon? Like, did people build it? Like, what's the explanation?
Atlantis.
See, there you go. Could be Atlantis. I mean, I remember all the theories we were talking about at the end of season 6. I remember your theory about, what was it? It was let me see if I can put it together. It was something like was it Atlantis? No. Was it a spaceship? Was it a spaceship?
Oh, yeah, it was something like that. Something about the island is what traps Smokey, but what was it? Yeah, it was something about a vessel or something. It was basically this idea that the island just sort of looks like an island, but it's really something else.
Yes.
It's really some technological thing.
Yeah.
And that's a prison for Smokey. I think that was pretty much it.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Smokey came from another universe or another planet or something.
Yeah, he got a parallel universe or something, and a parallel Earth where he actually got out and destroyed everything or something.
Yeah, that's right.
And so Jacob brought him here.
That's
to keep him captive.
And they had to do the incident and create the alternate universe so that they could trap Smokey over there. And get him out of this universe. Like, I think that's sort of what the theory was.
Yeah.
Which, based on what we saw before that, was perfectly valid.
Exactly. It was great at the time, and then,
Yeah. Yeah. And, like, that's a kind of story that, like, could be very interesting to watch. I would enjoy it, and I think might deliver a little more excitement and intrigue about the island, but, they just decided they didn't want to give us anything like that.
Yeah.
It was like, the island is this vague, strange place with this vague, strange power, and they didn't really want to go beyond that.
Mm-hmm.
And it's
that's all you really get. It's almost like the island is just an idea. It's almost abstract. It's almost representational of something else.
Yeah.
And you can't really get more specific because it's just this idea or something.
Yeah. Yeah.
The island is magic.
And it's just surprising, I guess, because, like, I just don't see a lot of stories like that, that end with this, like, trailing off into, nothingness. Like, you want to know what the island is? Well, no one knows what the island is.
Yeah, it's just you're asking the wrong question.
Yeah.
It's not about what the island is.
It's not, and I thought it was, and it's just, looking at these early episodes, Locke's little speech about this place is special, they know it, but it scares them, like, I feel like that's building up that idea that it's definitely hinting that we're gonna get to know more about the island and what makes it special. And we do to an extent, but it doesn't go to the point of giving a specific answer that seems like a typical, sort of answer. Right. It feels like the main thing we learn is that, a lot of other people have wondered about the island as well. and found out things to varying degrees.
Yeah.
But no one really figured it out. You know, and so we get to know whatever they found out, but that, you know,
that's it. Yeah.
That's it. Yeah. As far as it goes, there's no scene where we can just get all the answers, and yeah, it's just
it's like you know, as the audience, we're trying to find out what the island is, and all we can do is find out what it is through what groups of characters have found out.
Right.
You know, that's our way of finding out about the island. So we can only find out as much as they did, which is not much.
Yes. Exactly. Exactly. And I just, in these days, in these early episodes, you know, I never would have guessed that was going to be, you know, the most answer we would get. You know, I knew they had to slow play it at this stage. Obviously, they're not going to tell us much in season 1, episode 5. You know, and they don't, and that's fine. But it's weird to like reevaluate the show as a whole, I think.
Yeah, I'm just trying to think if they told us in this episode, you know, if Locke told Jack, "Hey, I found a light cave, you know, over here, and it's, you know, it's life and it's death or whatever."
Yeah.
And it, you know, it powers the island. I mean, which is the most specific answer you get.
Yes.
What's that going to do at this point? But go, okay, you know.
No, you're right. That's barely better than I looked into the eye of the island and it was beautiful.
Exactly. Yeah, it's not that far away from that. There was a light and it was warm and glowing and
yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like you could almost say the same thing. I looked into the cave and it was beautiful light.
Now if he says, you know, I found out, you know, Locke is telling Jack, I found out that the island is actually a spaceship, you know, and it's trapping evil incarnate here.
Yeah.
You know, that does change, like, what's going on.
Yes, yes.
That changes how you view, like, everything else.
It's true. It's true. Or if there had been some hint that, you know, that Christian and the smoke monster were the same thing. You know.
Oh, that would have been crazy at this point to be like, Jack's dad is evil.
Yeah.
He's the smoke monster. Like, what?
Exactly. Yeah.
Like, what does that mean? What does that mean for Jack? You know, like.
Totally. It would blow my mind at this point. Like, I never, that never occurred to me. You know, even until the reveal, I didn't think that.
Yeah.
It's kind of ridiculous. Like I don't know. That's the kind of thing that you know, would have been more specific that they could have told us, but you know, we're not gonna find that out for a long time. And I just kind of filed it away, like Jack and Christian. That's, you know, we'll come back to that eventually. You know, and I guess they do in a very small way. But really, Christian does a lot more with other people, especially Locke.
Yeah, totally.
And I think that's so strange.
Why?
Because I feel like his, you know, the primary thing that the Man in Black does is appear as dead people that mean something to the people he's appearing to. You know.
Yeah, I mean,
he appears as Yemi to Echo.
I think there's a continuity and a sort of reason to keep John Terry on the show.
Yeah.
That they that I see what you're saying. You're just talking about it in terms of that it's specifically Smokey looking like Christian.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Smokey looking like Christian because like he could for example appear as Locke's dad.
Mhm.
You know, who did actually die on the island. If that's a requirement, I mean maybe it isn't, but he appears as Yemi Teko. He appears as Alex
it's not because Richard's wife.
And Richard's wife, yeah.
She didn't die on the island, so
like that's his MO for the most part. You know, and even Locke, even appearing as Locke, like originally it mattered. It was part of the plan, like because Locke was supposed to be leader of the others, and you know. He was able to pull off his whole plan because he was Locke specifically. So it makes sense. But, like, appearing to Locke as Christian and appearing to, even worse, Sun and Frank as Christian, you know, or Michael, you know.
See, here's the thing. Like, at that point, he was specifically, like, trying to be a person that they didn't know.
Yeah.
You know, like he's just this person that's telling them this stuff. Yeah, he didn't appear to them as somebody that they knew and was like, you need to do this thing for me, because it seemed like he didn't really need to. But I think there's a convenience factor to play there too.
Yeah.
But it does stand out.
It does, because I feel like it just separates all that stuff from what he usually did.
Mhm.
And that's why I didn't think that Christian was him.
Because, like, if he appeared to, like, Sun as somebody she knew that was dead, like, that would totally change what the whole point of that, you know, like, she would be like, why is my dead whatever here?
Yeah.
You know, versus, you know, just doing whatever he tells her to do.
Yeah,
just
like
there's
guy.
sometimes where it makes sense for him not to be, you know, he's not trying to use their loved ones against them all the time.
Yeah.
So, it's, you know, I think that's reasonable.
Yeah. Yeah. That's true. Well, even appearing to Christian as to Claire as Christian worked.
You
know,
totally.
Like that made a lot of sense. But yeah, you're right, he doesn't always do that. It's just I don't know. The thing is, he doesn't always do that in season 6, you know, but, like, earlier in the show, like, I think that is what he always does, you know, except for the Christian stuff.
Yeah. I mean, that makes sense, though, because the early stuff, it's more one-on-one. Like, he's appearing to specific people to get them to do very specific things. Like,
That's true. That's true.
And that is his default. I mean, I'm definitely not saying that's not his default tactic. I think that's definitely his default.
Yeah. Yeah.
But it's not always the thing he needs to do.
Right. It's just, yeah, I think you're right. Just they wanted to use the actor, but he could have achieved the same effect appearing as any other number of dead people that they didn't know. You know.
Yeah, it would have just been them having to get a different actor for no apparent reason.
Yeah.
Just to make it different, but yeah.
Right. And I guess to me, like, the thing that would make the most sense to me would be appearing as Man in Black, you know, Titus Welliver.
Yeah.
You know, I feel like that would be his default. And that's
And I think that's what he would have been doing instead of it being Christian all those other times.
Yeah.
If they wanted to reveal that, you know, that if we knew him as a character, you know, knew that he looked like that or whatever.
Yeah, so I guess that's the problem with that. If he just shows up all of a sudden, you know, they're not ready to reveal him yet. They want to show us somebody that we know.
Yeah.
And that, yeah. So I see why they did that, but still, it created, you know, a wrong theory in my mind. And I mean, now looking back, like it's believable, you know. Like I when I watch this stuff, like I can buy that that's the Smug Monster. It works. Well,
yeah, totally. He's being weird and creepy and
yeah. At this point, he's still like you said, like not not coming out in the open. He's not really ready to, just do anything but just engage people one-on-one.
Mhm.
And randomly attack.
Yeah, I mean, he could come to them all right now, like you said earlier, and go, "Hey, this is the deal. I'm trapped on this island. Blah 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 blah."
Yes.
But,
yeah. Well, Jacob could have done that too.
Well, we know he's hands off, so.
Yeah. I mean, that's the story for him, but yeah. He really, he could totally give his side of the story, and who knows? Who knows what would happen if they heard it?
Yeah, they could. Yeah, Smokey and Jacob could let the Lofties vote on whether or not he gets to leave the island or not. They could be the jury. That'd be the most boring episode ever.
Yeah, that sounds really bad. It's like a courtroom drama.
Now let's hear the rebuttal. If he leaves, everything will be destroyed.
Yeah, but it's not my fault I'm evil. He threw me down the cave.
What was the why did he throw him down the cave? I forgot. He goaded him into it somehow. Oh, because he killed the mother.
Yeah.
You killed our mother.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
well, she killed my whole village.
Well, your whole village needed to be destroyed to protect the island.
But I was just trying to leave the island. I didn't care about destroying it.
But if you leave the island, everything will be destroyed.
Well, only after you threw me in the cave.
No, before too, right? That's what Mother said. You can't leave.
She said he can't leave, but I think before that, he's just a guy. He could leave as well as anybody could.
But nobody can.
Well, I mean, you're right. Nobody can. But, if they can.
Nobody can.
If they find a way, if they get on that bearing or whatever the tricks are. The donkey wheel as well. I mean, that's why he was making the donkey wheel.
Yeah.
There's loopholes for those you can't leave the island things.
Yeah. There are loopholes. There's always loopholes.
Always loopholes.
Well, yeah, that was the other thing, too. I mean, yeah, in order for him to leave, Jacob has to die. So that's another one of Jacob's rebuttals as well. For you to leave, I got to die, so.
Well, see, I feel like it's, Jacob doesn't have to die so much as Jacob has to die because he won't let him leave.
Mm-hmm.
But if Jacob decided to let him leave, of course he's not going to because, he's going to unleash his evil across the world. But,
yeah,
it's really, it's not totally his fault that that's the case.
Yeah.
So I think he really could, in a real court, I think he could make a pretty good case that, he should at least be allowed to go to another island.
Well,
I don't know if that's what he wants, but
how is that good? Because leaving the island is what will make the world end, right?
Well, I think he has to actually get back into the real world, get around people and stuff.
Okay.
I think so. I'm kind of just making stuff up. But that's my sense.
I assume it's the trigger. If he leaves the perimeter of the barrier, the world is done.
Just immediately? Yeah, it could be.
Because it's evil escaping. It's something. I don't know.
But I guess I thought sort of the evil is him, and so it's it radiates from him.
Mhm. Yeah, but who knows how it radiates outside of the barrier?
It's true. He never left. Every time I watch that scene at the end, which has been a few times with him and Jack on the cliff, and he's about to, like, climb down the ladder and get in that boat. Like, I just, you know, as much as Jack deserves his revenge, I just wish he could get in that goddamn boat because I want to see what happens.
Mhm.
And it's like he's so close. It's such a tease.
Yeah. He could have made it.
He could have. He would have easily made it. He just had to go back and fight Jack.
Mhm.
So frustrating. I mean, you do want evil to be defeated, of course, but at the same time, it's that car crash, you know, thing where you just, I kind of want to see what.
Would you go around causing car crashes?
Yeah.
That's pretty evil, Justin. Yikes.
No.
Oh, okay.
I don't go out causing them, but if one happens to happen, it's kind of interesting to look at. That's all I'm saying.
All right. I'll notify the police.
It's like overflowing toilets, if you will.
Ah.
I don't want it, but if it happens, I'm going to try to enjoy it.
Overflowing toilets, and that's a blast from the past.
It is. That's for the old school fans.
That is old school. All right, guys and gals. I think that does it for the podcast.
It does. It does. It's a pretty good episode. I think these early ones are pretty strong. Like they're very character focused. There's really not, the Christian thing and was pretty much the big mystery of this episode, and that's about it.
That didn't get resolved.
Yeah.
Well, he's not in the coffin. We know that.
He's not in the coffin. That's all we get. And yeah, I do feel like they are leading us to believe that he just got out of the coffin and started walking around on the island.
Like he got healed somehow, just like Locke got healed.
Exactly, because they just showed us Locke, miraculously able to walk again. So it's like, well, if the island can do that, maybe it can make dead people come back to life.
Mm-hmm.
Who knows? Actually, I think it can in certain cases.
Well, yeah.
But not in this one, apparently.
All right, we'll be back next time with everyone's favorite episode, House of the Rising Sun.
Yes! Can't wait for that one.
The Lost Extravaganza.
Gonna be awesome. Bees,
right.
bees everywhere.
Thanks and namaste.
Namaste. Good luck.